Salutations everyone, my name is Silta and welcome to the video. Now in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a Half-Life 2 mod. That's correct, a Half-Life 2 mod. However, this mod is very different from most others. First of all, it's free. I repeat again, it is a free mod. It takes the source engine and the standard first-person elements of the world-famous 2004 first-person shooter Half-Life 2 and turns it into a real-time strategy game, an RTS. A few years ago, I was a beta tester for this game and it was fun. However, as time went on, I drifted from the game to others. Just recently, I decided to pick it back up and have a go, and it's still just as fun as I remembered it, if not more so now with more units building and updates. In the game, you get to play two factions, the notorious Combine and Rebels, which are relatively balanced, if you know how to play the two sides of course. Combine get a wide variety of ground units, ranging from Metro Police units to Striders, whilst Rebels range from Resistance members to Vortigaunts and even Alex's pet dog, Dog. While I personally prefer playing as the Combine, the Rebels are just as fun. They have many neat gadgets and units that spice things up, keeping them both balanced and as fun as the Combine. One of the units you can create as a Rebel are Vortigaunts, who summon antlions to the battlefield. They can also stun enemies and zap as well. The game is, of course, multiplayer, just like most RTS games, ranging from 2 vs 2 games to even 4 vs 4 games. So you know this game can get pretty crazy and fun if you manage to gather enough to play a full-on game. A standard 2 vs 2 game takes around 20 to 40 minutes from what I can remember, so it's a standard RTS playtime per game. Unless you have the free time to enjoy a whole match, I recommend you clear up your schedule, as it may be a drawn out match. And if you really have a lot of time, I recommend very much so a 4v4. Lambda Wars is very similar to StarCraft. You start off with a single unit, in this case an engineer if you're a rebel, or a stalker if you're Combine. Combine work a lot like Protoss from StarCraft 2, requiring energy and power to most machinery and troops. You can create scrap generators on top of scrap piles to create energy quicker. As for Rebels, they have engineers that gather the scrap and return it to a scrapyard, a building you can create nearby. After you have enough materials, you are able to send your worker units out to create a new building structure to ensure your army slowly yet steadily grows. In this case, barracks or a garrison to create upgraded foot soldiers and to unlock more buildings. You also need to gather flags in order to gain requisition points. Requisition points serve as a type of currency that's used alongside scrap and power to create more powerful buildings or ground units. Now, I'm not very familiar with strategy games such as these. The only other RTS games I've played would be StarCraft when I was a kid and later StarCraft 2, so my overall experience with RTS games are fairly limited. My friend made a mention that the game is similar to Warhammer, however, which is pretty much an RTS on a much larger scale. One flaw that I find with this game is that it gets relatively repetitive within just a few games. I can only bring myself to play 1 to 3 games a day before getting burnt out on the standard gameplay. However, Lambda Wars comes with a variety of game modes to enjoy, so if you switch it up, you can enjoy the game for a few days. The original and primary game mode that's inspired by games such as StarCraft is called Annihilation. In this game mode, you pretty much build an army
to have an onslaught upon your enemies, raining down fire and brimstone upon them in order to destroy all that they've created, making their efforts of dominating you in vain. They shall hear the war drums, that is your soldiers' footsteps, as they come marching, leading death towards their doorstep. Nothing shall survive. All will perish in the fall before you.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. One that's currently in development is called Squad Wars. Squad Wars is a Dota 2 and Dead Island Epidemic mixture-inspired game mode where you can play hero units with special abilities and increased health. They're tasked with capturing flag points and trying to gather up to 15,000 points from said flags in order to win the game. It is, however, a work in progress. I tried to play it once with a friend of mine against the AI, however, it was just too bland to enjoy. They basically spawned a lot of enemies on the map to serve as hazards for your hero units to deal with, but it just ended up with my unit getting cornered and unable to move, resulting in his untimely death. You will be missed, Commander Tibbles. It is a work in progress, as I said before, so I'm still expecting good things to come from it over time. Maybe they'll add custom models to the game or item pickups. It's still in very early development, so it has a lot of changes coming, so I'm sure it'll be more fleshed out as time goes on and it's worked on more. There is another game mode I tried out called Overrun. It's just as it's called. It's a game mode that you defend your buildings from wave after wave of enemies, from antlions to headcrabs. I must admit, it's one of my favorite game modes, which I really enjoy when taking breaks from Annihilation, so give it a try if you want to experience something new. I give it a go on a whim and I really loved it. The game could use more game modes though, I'm sure. I remember back when I beta tested, I recommended a nuclear game mode where the objective was to build a nuclear device before your opponent, or maybe a timed game mode where you have to defeat the enemy who are very well defended from attackers, setting a match time in order to destroy the defending squad or item that they are defending. This game, however, is still in development and very much needs a player base once again. again. It has a steady average of 50 players a day currently, and it would be a shame to see the potential game die off and lose players, as the developers worked very hard to bring this RTS game to life. Hopefully this video will shed some light towards it, and it will allow a few RTS lovers to find it and properly play it and enjoy it. Lambda Wars is an amazing game that I highly recommend that you play and get a feel for. They're always looking for new developers to help as well, such as map makers, coders, programmers. I'll put a link down in the description below, so you can check out the game for yourself. It's an amazing and original idea to take Half-Life 2 into a whole new direction, giving it a new feel and experience for both old and new players alike. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. I know it was short, but I just wanted to throw out a video since I haven't made one in a while. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button and the like button for more content. Comment down below what you think about the game and how it can further improve upon itself. And with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.